So on the Forza subreddit, there's a thread, a comprehensive list of the quality of life improvements for Forza Horizon 4 and a few bugs. Well, I mean, that's a pretty cool idea, so I clicked on it and I'm going to read it. I'm going to give my opinions on everything I see here. So, yeah. Audio and video improvements. All volume sliders should be able to be set to 0. I agree! I freaking agree. Only having it to set to the minimum of 1 is annoying, especially when it's still too damn loud. Turning the radio off or setting the music volume slider to 0 should stop all in-game music from playing. Currently, there will still be music playing at random festival sites, Forzathons, during loading screens, yada yada yada. Okay, that's fine. Many vehicles have engines that sound extremely computerized, which is jarring to listen to. I haven't come across that, but sure, okay. Gameplay improvements. In Ranked Team Adventure, if your teammates quit, it's actually easier for your team to win because there are more people on the other team, which makes it easier to gain points. If your teammates leave, it should be harder to win. That's a good idea! That's a phenomenal idea! Whoever thought of that is a genius. That's a good idea. Some cars in the game can only be won by wheel spins, which makes them the rarest cars in the game. For example, the 2004 Subaru WRX STI is easily one of the rarest cars in the game to acquire because it's never in the auction house. Yet it's only a green or blue rarity car valued at roughly 35k credits. Okay, I think it's a blue car or green car because it's just not that rare. I think the rarity is based off of how many production in real life. That whole thing, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's an okay improvement. Track width should be adjusted on every car, not just cars that are dubbed as having poor fitment. I don't even know what that means. Drift suspension should be available on all cars. I agree, the drift suspension should be available as an option to apply on every car, so you can make every car a drift car if you wanted to. That's a good idea. Ramming and wall riding in competitive races should be more strongly discouraged. I agree. That's a given, honestly. Bad players / trolls resort to ramming other players and wall riding around corners, which actually helps them tremendously, which, yes, it does, and I hate it. It makes it an absolute displeasure to play against other people. Yeah, I agree with everything said there, because I've raced plenty of people where they don't even have, like, it's just basically a power tune with 0 handling, and all they do is e-brake into the wall and haul ass. It's a very bad system, and it's not very fun or fair. Let's see, there should be a vinyl editor that allows image file uploads instead of forcing people to create images themselves by hand using only shapes. I agree. Mainly because Gran Turismo Sport already has that option. I am terrible at making vinyls out of shapes. I'm just not that creative, nor am I that patient. So yeah, that's a good idea. There should be a text chat option in addition to voice. PC players effectively have no way to communicate with each other. Rocket League has this, and it works extremely well on PC and console. Okay, that's nice, good job. I have no opinion on that either way. The lightweight wheel selection is pretty lacking in variety. Most of them are bad looking, which leads to everyone using the same wheels. Good point, okay. Forza Edition cars have more speed rating horsepower than their non-Forza Edition counterpart, even though they have the exact same modifications and engine on the car. For no reason other than it's a Forza Edition. Duh! A body kit adds power to your car. I mean, anybody knows that. Both ranked and unranked adventure features free roam rush every other race. Free roam rush is less about skill, but rather getting lucky with whether you'll hit a tree or not. This may be a Horizon game, but free roam rush comes up way too often in ranked, which is supposed to be skill focused. Adding more race types or having more random modes would help with this. Free roam rush every other race makes winning more about luck than skill. I agree! Because free roam rush is stupid! All you're doing is just driving over hills and trying to get in between trees and trying not to hit a goddamn house, and I couldn't agree more with that statement right there. Random internet person. Drivatars in online races are extremely laggy when they collide with each other. This can cause them to lag into your car and send you flowing off the course, potentially making you miss checkpoints. I've never raced a Drivatar in an online race. That's kind of weird, but it can also happen in an offline race. I've had Drivatars smash into me and I missed a checkpoint. And that's why I leave the press Y to rewind button on. At endgame, all currency becomes useless, especially Forzathon points. The only reason to do Forzathons anymore, once you have all the cars, is to get cosmetic items or for wheel spins for cosmetic items. Oakley dokley. More engines should be able to reach X-Class power levels. Putting a 6.5-liter V12 or racing V12 in everything is boring and makes all the cars sound the same. I agree! Every car that is OP has a V12 in it, and it just cuts the variety out of the game, and it makes it not so much fun. On a custom level, I want to try to build something super badass, but it's like my only option to get the maximum amount of power is a V12. And all-wheel drive. It's annoying. Houses do literally nothing besides serve as a spawn point where most people fast travel out of anyway. Only 4 houses have perks and other features, wheel spins and other cosmetic stuff, which is useless in the endgame. I agree! I agree with you, random internet person, because I actually bitched about this in a different video with my review. So, I agree. Private lobbies would be very useful for people who have weak internet connections and don't want their session to have other players in it. I agree with you there. Private lobbies would be very helpful. Just for even your buds. Just for your buds, just like a free, like a sesh. Like a private sesh. There is a general lack of variety in engine swap options. More transverse mounted engines other than the 2.0 VTEC and 1.6 Turbo Rally would be appreciated. Why couldn't we have, for an example, the AMG M133 or Audi's 2.5-liter inline 5 and other hatchbacks? Given they are engines of existing cars in the game, there shouldn't be much technical difficulty implementing them as swap options. That is a great idea. I like that. Having more options to customize your car and to build exactly what you want is kind of what Forza has always built itself as. A game where you can get in a car and just do whatever you want with it and have fun. So if they're limiting you on builds and engines and drift suspensions and other things, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Let's see. Drag racing events should use the staging trees. The event is boring, you win the series and you never do it again. I would enjoy it if it would I would enjoy it in multiplayer if it was a bit deeper. Hold the gas or lose is one trick. Make the reaction time in the drive type challenge, make the drive type class limited or free for all. Let us have a mode specific launch control RPM setting or free ball it. If your RPMs are too high on launch, excessive wheel spin, too low, slow launch, yada yada yada. I have already stated this in my review. I think that the drag racing is lame. Drag racing is more than just 3, 2, 1, go, and you hold down the go button, your throttle button, and that's that after 10, 12 seconds. There should be, you gotta control your RPMs, you gotta control your launch, you gotta control your staging. Are you gonna stage deep? Are you gonna stage shallow? I mean, you stage, you deep stage, or it's shallow stage, I believe, and you can actually hit the gas and let off your brake sooner, and you won't get the red light because you're so far back, depending on your car and your setup and everything. So drag racing is more than just 3, 2, 1, go, so I agree with all that because it is useless and Forza has never done a good job with it. UI improvements. The menu's tile layout is currently nightmarish to navigate if you're new to Horizon games. It's way too cluttered. Even if you're not new to Horizon games, I don't like the tile layout for their menus. Because they all kind of look the same with small text, and it's just like, okay, I need to get a livery, and there's like 4 brightly colored tiles with epic liveried cars on it. I'm like, shit, which one's this one? I actually have to, it takes me a second to, okay, this one's the one to go get my liveries, that one's for my tuning. I mean, yeah, it's never been good. The post-race influence credits reward screen should be able to be skipped. I agree! Because I'm always spamming the goddamn button to hurry up and keep going, because you can do that in other games. This one, not so much. Horizon story events should display all 3 requirements for 3-star completion. Being forced to view the chapters individually isn't something that you can do during the event. That's actually not such a big deal. I mean, You can literally just go to, I mean, maybe put the chapters thing in front. That way you know what you're doing or getting ahead of. But I can kind of see how that can be annoying. Emotes should be able to be changed from anywhere. I actually agree on that. I shouldn't have to go to the Horizon Festival to go from the Running Man dance to a floss. I gotta interrupt my driving to change my emote. It's annoying. The fast travel confirmation box should be able to be closed by pressing B instead of being forced to select no. Okay, dokie then. There should be an option for drive this car where not selecting it lets you go back to the car you were just driving. If I buy a car in the auto show, it doesn't necessarily mean that I want to drive it right away. I love that idea because I do the same thing. I want to stick in my Jeep Trailcat. I'm in the middle of doing something, but I have an idea for a future race or a future video, and you know, I think I'm gonna go buy this Mustang, and I just want it in my garage. But as soon as you buy something, it forces you to be inside it. It forces you to drive it, and then I have to go back to the garage and switch back to what I was driving. So that is a phenomenal idea. Cars in your garage that are considered new should be able to be marked as seen without viewing the cinematic sequence for every car. That's a solid idea. I didn't even know it did that. Drive type should be above car type in the garage filter list. Okay. There needs to be a show duplicates button in the garage. I've hit 550 cars a couple of times already, and it takes forever to go through the car list and hunt for duplicates. It's a pretty good idea. As a parallel to the last suggestion, a hide unmodified vehicles filter would be good too. Not everything I've modified is marked as a favorite. That's a great idea because, like me, I will collect Corvettes, but I'll only drive like one or two of them. One of them will be for something crazy like a power tune for drag racing or just straight line speed, and the other one will be for grip. And then I'll have some other ones that are just completely stock that I'm just keeping in my garage, and that's an actually good idea, so I agree with you on that. DLC cars should be able to be claimed all at once from the DLC menu instead of being forced to buy them at the auto show individually for 0 credits. That's a great idea. I believe you could do that on Forza Motorsport 7. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's a solid idea. There should be an option to buy cars in bulk, multi-select from an auto show. Buying multiple cars in a row takes forever because of the cinematic that plays after purchasing a car, and it also makes you want to, it also forces you to choose a livery for everything, so that's a good idea. You should be able to click 3 cars, buy them all, and it just dumps them in the garage. You don't need to pick a livery, you don't need to upgrade this, that, or the other. You don't need to show a cinematic, just, I don't know what it is with Forza games, but they want to show a cinematic with everything, and it's really just annoying. Lower rarity cars should not be locked to a lower buyout price when placing them on the auction house. There shouldn't be a rank requirement for paint or tuner to be able to do this. That's a neat idea. I'm not really keen on auction house stuff ever. Speed trap zone, drift zone, and danger side leaderboard notifications. The top percentage one should be default to the global leaderboard. Currently it shows friends, club members, and having a small number of people in your club or friends list does not give a good idea of how good your scores actually are. That I agree with 100% because I'm like, all right, I got a good point on this drift zone, and I checked the leaderboard, and yeah, I'm like top 50% on my leaderboard, quote unquote, but that's for my friends list. That does not include the world, and I want to see the world leaderboard so I can actually see who's number 1 instead of Frank on my friends list, who's actually like 10,000th in the world, even though it shows that he's the top on my friends list. Now, it'll show that he's 10,000th in rank, but I mean, on the initial thing, yeah, it's just annoying. Acquiring a wheel spin by leveling up should add a spin to the number instead of forcing you to use it right away. I agree with that a lot because sometimes even on Forza Motorsport 7, I level up so many times and I never use the wheel spin or whatever they do there. And it's the same way on here. The wheel spins are not that important to me. I never get anything worth a shit anyways. And plus, I'm just I like collecting them in bulk and then just sitting there for 20 minutes and spamming it and trying to get a bunch of money. It's fun. So I like doing it in bulk instead of just once every once in a while. If the previous selection isn't implemented, all wheel spins should be able to be skipped like wheel spins used from the menu. Bravo. Bravo. I agree. There should be a way to set off-road waypoints considering a lot of the game is cross-country, off-road, or dirt. I agree with that as well. It should give you an option to either stick on the roads or go like a straight shot or stick to the dirt roads. So that's a great idea. The map should be able to be zoomed further out. I don't really agree with that. I don't care about that. I think it seems just fine. During a Forza-thon, there should be a leaderboard in the top right corner showing the top participating players' scores in each event. This can encourage people to actually try instead of trolling in D-class cars because they think it's funny. I agree. There's a lot of people that will carry the Forza-thon team while somebody is in the P50 peel thinking they're funny, trying to get the 120 mile an hour point thing or a danger sign jump. I mean, it's annoying. So that's actually a great idea. There should be a menu on the Horizon Convoy screen with a list of online friends that you can choose to join, like in Destiny. Right now, the only way to join friends without opening the Xbox app guide is to try to join a session when you aren't in one. It only gives you the option to join one person on your friends list. Pretty decent idea. I've never actually tried to do the convoy thing. Nothing I care to do. Cars in your garage should be able to be sold for credits if you don't want to go through the auction house, albeit for a lower price. I thought you could. That's actually news to me. I didn't know you could. Yeah, you should be able to just dump it for credits instead of having to sell it on the auction house. That's stupid. That's a waste of time, honestly. Downloading another player's custom tune should be less of a guessing game. Saying things like max lateral G's and 0 to 60 times would be helpful in determining which tunes would best suit your needs. That's a great idea because not every power tune is good for drag racing and yada yada yada. If you wanted, you can have something with excellent launch and excellent top speed, but it may not be good for finding your speed traps. So that's a very good idea. When downloading a livery from another player, you should be able to preview the livery before downloading and applying it to the car. I agree with that. On Forza Motorsport 7, you can do that. You click on the livery, and it pulls it up, and you can look around the car and see if you actually like it. On this game, as soon as you click on the livery, that's it. The on-screen picture is definitely too small, and it only shows the one side of the car at like a 3/4 angle. So that right there is a great idea. I agree with that a lot. There should be a button that makes the mini-map bigger. This is especially an issue in Free Roam Rush. It's ridiculous that we have to press the start button and then the map button really quickly while driving to see if we're in the correct course. An arrow pointing towards the destination would also help. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but maybe for Free Roam Rush, that's an okay thing. Size and position of UI elements, minimap, speedometer, etc. should be adjustable. I agree. They could have some modifications to that. Reset cosmetic damage should have a button in the main menu instead of being limited to photo mode. I agree with that because sometimes I'm just drifting and I'll hit something and it's not like it's detrimental to the game. I just want my hood to not be jammed up. So I didn't know it was limited to photo mode though, so that's good to know. Let's see. We have a few bugs that we've noticed that need to be addressed. Stop map filters when sometimes resetting when getting more events or when opening My Horizon Life from the map screen. Okay. Some achievements are not being marked unlocked even though the requirements have been met. The only one I've personally encountered issues with is find and restore all 15 barn finds, but other people have reported issues with other achievements. FH4 resets to default video and audio settings after each NVIDIA driver update. This started after the hotfix last week. Matchmaking for ranked team adventure can take up to 30 minutes and sometimes only 11 to 12 players will get in, which is not enough players to start the session. Sometimes all 12 players will connect and the session still doesn't start. Yeah, that's bad. That's one of the main things that makes multiplayer just unbearable. Switching cars while a waypoint is set will cause the waypoint to disappear. Yes, it does, and I hate that. 2 players cannot take pictures in drone mode at the same time because it ghosts the other person's car, which ruins whatever photo you're trying to take. Yeah, it shouldn't ghost the car. It should just be a drone that flies around, but your car sits there. I mean, why the hell not? When completing races with friends, sometimes it'll randomly separate the party and they'll have to rejoin each other and then reconnect to Horizon Life or whatever they were previously playing. That sounds annoying. I haven't experienced that. Queuing for ranked matches sometimes does not queue the entire convoy. Only the party leader. Okay. Didn't know that. The opening Turn 10 playground game cinematic when you launch the game is played at full volume even if you have your master volume in-game set to 1. Our whole club has issues with this when we turn the game volume down to be able to hear each other, and when Forza Horizon 4 launches, it's deafening. Yeah, that opening song is cranked, but I mean, it's the game loading up before any settings, because I mean, you could be logged in as somebody else and their settings are different, and it wouldn't matter because it's the opening introduction to the game. So I mean, I don't think that's such a big deal. Maybe just turn your headphones down or something. Adjust your microphone so you can hear the mic instead of the game. That's my suggestion. Team Adventure can only be quit if you time yourself out of the lobby between sessions by not electing to join, otherwise you are forced to leave mid-race, which leaves the teams with an uneven people. I agree with that. I didn't even think about that aspect. I have to wait for the game to load and then I leave, and then I'm screwing over the team that it assigns me to. I didn't even think about that, so yeah. Let us leave the goddamn lobbies before everything's loaded up, because you're just screwing other people on that are waiting to play. So, yeah. On PC, switching radio stations using a controller can sometimes disable pause menu access. Changing radio stations with a keyboard works just fine for people experiencing this issue. Okie dokie. Graphics settings reset when a second display is added or removed. Didn't know that. But yeah, this is the longevity comprehensive list of the quality of life for Forza Horizon 4. Let me know your thoughts, if there's anything you wanted to add to that, or if there's anything you want to naysay on that, or something you agree with or disagree with. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll link the Reddit thread down there as well. Thank you so much for watching or listening. I'll see you in the next episode of whatever the hell this channel does.